you can stay in the party, you just can't commentate. You can't include your audio. But we are live finally. I'm not sure, Adam, if you've included your audio, but my audio is included. We are live. We are so sorry for all the technical difficulties. I know we were half an hour behind. We had problems with all the league settings on multiplayer. We've finally got it sorted. We just started doing an unranked lobby, got all the drivers in here, and now we're ready to roll. Adam, if you don't mind taking it away while I post all the stuff finally on Facebook.
All right, hello everybody. Super excited to be back here for BRL Split 2 Season 3. We got a lot of new faces, new cars. It's going to be a really exciting season starting off here in Australia. A little bit late, but got it going now. Qualifying is underway. We had originally got a session going. Those original settings will be applied, meaning that we are going to have an overcast qualifying and we are going to have a heavy rain race. Very, very interesting. It's going to be really exciting to see what these guys can do. They will have the benefit of assists, but we've got 17 racers going today. A couple of new faces from Split 1. We got Formula Rager, a former teammate of mine. We've got SF1 Roads did Split 1 races. Methods, Beef Baby, a lot of really, really good guys in here. A lot of guys that are very, very quick. Some familiar faces from Season 1 as well with Split 2. So everyone's currently in the pits. A couple of drivers leaving for their outlaps. A couple of drivers in some new cars. So I do believe we've got a Renault leaving at the moment. Go through here. Yes, we do. Mick Facitas in the Renault going out on his outlap, as well as Slingshot in the Mercedes. This race was very interesting in Split 1. This is a really exciting track. It's a track that can absolutely bite you if you're not careful with the track limits, with pushing too hard, with the tires especially as well. These soft tires absolutely die pretty quickly here. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys do for balancing. Or actually, really, it doesn't matter. Everyone's got a full push because we're having rain in the race. Everyone's going to be on the soft tires. Everyone's going to be pushing to go as absolute quick as they can. So that'll make this qualifying session extremely exciting. And the rain will make this qualifying extremely important as well. It's going to be really hard to overtake on a track that's already pretty difficult to get past on without DRS. So it's going to be a really, really exciting race. Apologies for the delay, but we are all set up to go now. Shouldn't be a problem in the future. And I'm really excited for this season of Split 2 BRL. It should be a really, really exciting time. A couple of drivers coming around. Mick Facitas is going to be the first driver on his flyer. Coming down the main straight now, DRS wide open. Cross line here and start his first lap. A couple more drivers leaving the pits here. BRL henchman in the Mercedes. Got a couple drivers coming out right as drivers are leaving. On board with Facitas here on his flyer. Lots of clean air. Yellows in Sector 3. We have drivers moving out of the way. More yellows. Just going through here, make sure everyone's doing okay for now. Alrighty, we've got Formula Rager on his outlap, like me or not, on the Toro Rosso. BRL Henchman, BRL Blue Flag, Methods, and Mr. Beef Baby all on their outlaps. We have yet to have a driver put in a time. Got a lot of really talented guys here in Split 2. I'm really excited to see what some of our former Split 1 racers can do. As I said, Formula Rager, a previous teammate of mine, has got some fantastic race pace. Mitch had a lot of very impressive drives last season. There's too many to name. It's tough to go all the way through and name all of these guys. So it's going to be really exciting to see, that's for sure. Still no times yet to go in. Oh, as I say, that Slingshot puts in the first time. 126.867. First lap in yellow Sector 3. That's going to be Nuglife, who was backwards at the end of Sector 3 in the Williams. out of the way, making sure that he is good. He's going to dip into the pits. Sinkscar goes fastest, 122.0, a good time from him there. Bloody Ramrod, 123.7. SF1 Rhodes, 124.2. The Mullet Man, 129.9. Exia, 123.5. The times are pouring in now. Your guys coming through. Sinkscar, apologies, with a really nice time right there for his first lap out. Still 13 minutes left here in qualifying. A couple more drivers still on their out laps. Yellow Sector 1. Let's see what's going on there. I think the incident has been cleared up, whatever it was. Rager, 122.2, only 2/10 behind our P1 driver in the Haas this year. Good time from him there. Looking nice and tidy out on track.
I finally got most of the stuff shared. Thank you, Adam, for taking the reins from me a little bit. I tried making a watch party on Facebook. You have to do a live video or something for that. We'll worry about that next week. I've got all the links and all that stuff shared. We currently have 16 people watching. That's incredible, and I've barely got the link out there. So if we can reach 25 people, that would be incredible. But like you said, the times are absolutely pouring in. And you've got Sinkscar currently top of the charts with a 22 flat.
We've got, look at these times here. Formula Ranger 122.2 and Mr. Beefbaby with a 122.25. Extremely close times here, all within about 2.5 tenths. P1 to P3 as Bloody Ramrod improves to 123.1. A couple of local yellows here on the track. This driver's getting out of the way.
Then you can throw a blanket absolutely over from P4 to P8, and we've only got half, or say that P9 now, and we only have half the people who've set times today.
Like I said,
10-4. I will be on board with
Slingshot has been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. Right as I said that, the Mullet Man goes out. He has crashed. Sector 1, Sector 2. So Slingshot and the Mullet Man both out of qualifying here in Australia. That's going to really hurt them in the course of the race. Mullet Man put it into the wall. Australia's a track that will absolutely bite you if you're not careful.
And that's a really tricky part of the track. Oh, Mullet Man, as we just saw Pogs go around him, that was at the end of Sector 1. That's
his
where
car
you
is now
get on
gone.
that left side curb or on the inside, the right side of that curb, that'll just spin you around. It's one of the toughest parts of this Australian circuit.
Yeah, definitely one of those points where I'd like to call it, I call it a choke point, where, you know, you got to be really, really careful. There's a couple spots where, you know, if you're not using traction control, which I know a couple of our guys are, that if you're, you know, pushing too hard, it's very easy to spin out. The chicane is another one. It's a little bit better post-patch here in F1 2019. 2018 was absolutely brutal with that outside curb. But everyone's going to be pushing really hard here to get these times in as fast as they can. So it makes it really exciting. And the race, it makes it really interesting as well.
Trying to find somebody I can go on board with who's on a flyer. I do believe Nuglife is. He is in the Williams. Like I said, a bunch of new people in new places. Sinkscar, he's new to the league. Rage. Nuglife just lost it.
Don't know how he didn't lose a wheel there. He did lose the entire front right of his wing. Right in that same spot we were talking about. You have to be so careful.
Man, right as I was about to compliment him, I was talking to him before the season started. He was really optimistic about what this season holds. He said he thought he could, you know, be able to contend for points more this season. But that's not a good start to his season, obviously having damage and halfway through quali. But going back through the people who are new, Sinkscar, formerly known as Scar Tricks, he's new to the league. Rage is running in Split 2 now, familiar with Split 1 last year. Bloody Ramrod, he's new to the league. Barrel Blue Flag, an old RTVG racer, better known as Crank Tool, he's now running full-time. Pogs is a new racer. Glad to have him in. SF1 Rhodes has decided to run full-time this season, making the move up from running part-time last season. Like me or not, a fan favorite who hasn't, unfortunately hasn't done much league racing the past year or so. He's now running full-time for BRL Split 2. Capone has decided to make the leap up to full-time racing this year after running part-time last year. Mullet Man is a new driver running full-time this year. And a bunch of the other people are familiar faces. And let's see who is on a hot one. Sinkscar is. Let's go on board with him.
He is indeed looking pretty decent. Sector 2 time about to come in. He is he's a 1/10 down, 1.57 down, or 0.157 down on his lap. He's the current provisional pole sitter. Looking pretty good, nice and tidy through the lap. A lot of drivers leaving their out laps now. About 8.5 minutes left. Zinx car running very low fuel.
If he can nail this Sector 3, it can make a big difference, especially if you're running higher wings than a bunch of other people. I know for myself, I ran higher wings for this race. I really got a lot of help through Sector 3, but he's running up to the line now. Can he improve his time? Yes, he can. 121.4.
Absolute flyer through Sector 3. He was only a 10th down through the end of the second sector. Gained 5/10 in Sector 3 alone, so really, really impressive from him there. Drivers getting out of the way with logo yellow. Sector 3. SF1 Rhodes is on a flyer, it looks as well.
He's up heading in Sector 1. It's only marginally, but if he can get, SyncStar didn't get through Sector 2 that well. So if Mr. Beef Baby can get a good Sector 2 and just get a pretty, average Sector 3, he might have a shot at the pole. And I know a lot of people are calling him the favorite, a sleeper even, to win the Split 2 championship. And if he can, like I said, that looked pretty good, didn't it, Adam, through that chicane? I know it's very tough, but it looked pretty good.
It did look pretty good, but as we're saying that, Formula Rager is 2/10 down in Sector 1 in the Haas. So looking really good where he's about to come towards the end of Sector 2 here. We're going to see what the time is. He is going to be 0.291 down on his lap, so if he is a Sector 3, similar to SyncStar, he's going to be on pole here. Yellow
and
Sector
Beef Baby
3.
has aborted his lap. Trying to see who else is on a flyer. Ramrod's 2/10 down. Mitch jumps up to P5. No, that's Blue Flag jumping up to P4. My bad. Pretty good lap for the Ferrari drivers. Those Ferrari guys looking pretty feisty so far in qualifying.
We're about to see where Rager's going to cross the line. A little bit off the throttle there through the last corner. 119, 120. What's it going to be? 121.9. He does get into the 121s, improves his lap time by 0.25. Not enough to jump to pole. Still a comfortable P2, sitting around 3/10 clear of P3 of Mr. Beef Baby. 6 minutes left here in qualifying.
Hold the phone, Hinchman, a sleeper for the championship. Like I said, we got a bunch of drivers in the bag, possibly for the Split 2 championship. Hinchman going almost 3.5 tenths up.
Oh.
Split 1, oh, as he runs wide. Oh, he was 3.5 tenths up through Sector 1. Surely this is going to hurt his lap.
Yeah, he was also looking like he's really pushed from it looks like this might be a second lap, considering he's very low on the ERS and the fuel as well.
Best bet for him right now is just bring it in, chuck on a new set of softs, wait for the time to die down a little bit, because that was on his second lap. And if he's able to be 3.5 tenths up on his second lap, then who knows what he's going to be able to run. Trying to go, Pogs is on a pretty decent lap here, a little over 4 tenths up through Sector 1. He was very optimistic coming into the season, a very new driver, new to F1 League racing in general, but if he can just be in a position to score some decent points tonight, I feel like that'll be a pretty solid effort for the Haas driver.
Yeah, looking pretty decent here through the end of Sector 3, another really tricky section, especially if you overheat the tires, which is very easy to do here. Opens the DRS. He has run out of ERS deployment. His time is going to be 123.3, and he moves up to P8. Good time for him. Haas is looking pretty good. Local yellow, Sector 1 and 2. Let's see what's happened there. Looks like drivers getting out of the way.
He's going slow. Oh, Face Taste has gone off a little bit. Him and Capone trying to get out of the way of drivers, and Face Taste got in the gravel a little bit. And also, Adam, if you can move your mouth closer to your mic just a little bit, that would be
got you covered.
Good.
BRL
that's
Methods
much
has
better.
retired. Not sure if that was a choice or if he had an incident. Let's see here.
I tell you what, there might be a bit of a
Methods wrecked out.
Oh, he wrecked out.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Damage for the McLaren and BRL Methods. Definitely super unfortunate for him there. That's our second driver falling victim to the walls here in Australia.
And Lightning or Not has jumped up to P5. And I didn't get to mention it,
here, P5, P6.
I didn't get to mention it, but we just hit 24 people watching live just a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago. Back down a little bit, but that's 24 people. Our goal is 25. We're getting so close. And just look at those times. Oh my gosh. You can throw a blanket from about 8th to 13th, and then from about 2nd, just the whole field is really close. It's so encouraging to see.
That's what's really exciting about Split 2, and I think, seeing a couple of these guys, I know is maybe kind of tough going from Split 1 to Split 2, but these guys are all super competitive. These are all really, really good drivers, really good guys, and I think it's really exciting to see what they can do here. So, Formula Rager up in P2, Mr. Beef Baby P3, these are the names we expect, but Mitch P5, really looking good for him there. You guys, like me or not, up in the top 10 is great as well. And we've still got 3 minutes left here qualifying to push.
We might have a contender for pole now. Beef Baby, he got a little loose out there, but he's almost 4/10 up and into Sector 3. If he can get a good Sector 3, he'll at least move himself onto the front row, possibly pole. That'd be big for the Red Bull driver. He was very optimistic heading into this race.
Good through there, nice and tidy. It's a tough turn right there to get the line just right. Let's off just a little bit. ERS is out of deployment. It's gonna be a 1:21.6. He does take the front row. 2 minutes left here in qualifying. These drivers need to get out on track if they want to get in another lap. Our provisional pole setter, Singscar, still in the pits. Formula Rager coming out on his out lap. Going to try to do his best to improve, get back on that front row.
On board for Ramrod, Mitch was off the track a little bit there. I think he was letting people by. And I'm noticing now, people are running out of ERS onto that front straightaway. You have to be able to save a little bit of ERS for that push up to the line, because it can literally cost you 3 to 4 tenths.
Yeah, no, that's definitely huge, especially when you're in a straight line. The ERS plays a huge role. At least, I don't know if you've noticed as well. I think I have, though. But, the ERS in this game is so much more powerful than it was in 18. At least it feels that way. It really feels like it has a weight to it. So if you're not managing it well, it can be very, very difficult.
Ramrod jumps up to P5. Good result for the Renault driver. And this is when you get down to under a minute and a half to go as we're on board with Ezia.
Mitch has ducked into the pits. That's gonna be the end of his qualifying. Not gonna have enough time to go back out. Formula Rager, BRL Blue Flag, both on their out laps. Beef Baby looks like he's saving up a little bit, or he's trying to as best he can. Got a minute left here. BRL Henchman flies by him.
If he's going to try to do 2 laps on the softs, that'll be a tall order. He's going to go for it.
BRL Henchman might improve his lap a little bit here. Let's see. Not going to be an improvement there. Still sitting P10. Formula Rager crosses the line to start. Okay. Starting his lap. You guys have 44 seconds to get a lap in. Nuglife has retired from the session. Let's see. Checking the race director, checking the incidents. Nuglife speeding in the pit lane. Got a warning. I guess he just retired from the session. Nothing too crazy there. Exia has invalidated his lap time.
On board with Rage in the Haas, he's certainly going to be wanting to get back on that front row. I know he said he wasn't really sure about his quality pace, but I don't think he was really too worried about that. I think he was one of the drivers trying to pay attention to the race pace, and let's see how it is heading into Sector 2.
Definitely up on his time.
Down. But time has expired. Hot laps do count. Mitch will stay P6 at the moment. Lightner not P7.
Exia is on a flyer, low fuel for him, low ERS as well. Pogs looks to be on a flyer. BRL Henchman
will stay
dipping into the pits. Pacetus is in the pits.
Rage dipping in the pits.
Sinkstar is very close on his time. That means
Blue Flag is really close. Blue Flag just went a little bit green. We'll stay on board him for a moment. Etsy is on a flyer. SF1 Rhodes is on a flyer.
Looks like Sinkscar is about to cross the line. He is our provisional pole setter. Looking pretty good here. Looking like he's going to improve on his time just a little bit. Exia just went off the track. I don't know if he was getting out of the way, but he is off the track without a wing. Sinkscar is going to cross the line. It's a 1:21.3. He improves his time. Currently the pole setter.
Oh, can Blue Flag get him? Can Blue Flag get him?
Blue Flag is going to get a 1:22.1. P4.
Not enough. P4 though, good job for the Ferrari man, and I believe
That's going to conclude
that's
our qualifying.
everyone. And boys, looking at the live count, we have done it. We have 25 people viewing live. Oh my gosh. Wow, but what a quality session, Adam. Look at that. SyncStar was just able to improve at the end. Beef Baby bumped up to P2. Blue Flag getting up to P4 at the end. Ramrod going P5. Mitch P6.
Yeah, really, really exciting session. Just waiting here on exit to finish up. We got a minute left. If he retires, then be good to go for the race. But we do know what the weather conditions are going to be like. Qualifying has officially ended here, but it's going to be a heavy rain race in Melbourne, Australia. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how these guys deal with that. We've got a mixture of different assist on for some drivers, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays into it. But super close times here all the way through the board, which is great to see. That's what you want. So I'm very excited for the race. What are some of your predictions? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, you can't really predict much when it's going to be a rain race, but for this case and scenario, usually we have on dynamic, but we had to adjust to the conditions for what it was going to be in quality in the initial session. So the drivers do know it is going to be heavy rain, so I'm sure they adjusted their setups accordingly, but still it's just a lot of unknown. You don't necessarily practice in the rain. And a lot of the drivers, we don't know what their pace is going to be. So, some of the top guys, like SyncScar, Rage, Beef Baby, they might have trimmed out just a little bit for quali, but we don't know what they're going to have for the race, and we might see some people from the mid-pack. Oh,
we're not kidding
rain
about heavy rain.
That looks like what it does outside my house right now.
Yeah, really full session here. 17 drivers makes it really, really interesting. The rain makes it interesting, and this track as a season opener and can yield some really exciting things. Turn 1's going to be a doozy. This whole track is going to be a doozy, and it's going to be really exciting to see what happens. Blue Flag has readied up, so we've got about 15 seconds for the session to start. It's going to be an exciting one, Deer Hunter. I'm very much looking forward to it.
I am as well, and this is the closest this split has been yet. And these are young and hungry drivers. Like we just saw it at the end of last season. We had 7 drivers get moved up from split 2 to split 1 for this season, and we've had just counting here, we've had I believe 4 or 5 drivers moved down from split 1 to split 2. So it's a whole lot more equal when it comes to the pace. And then we have a bunch of new drivers added into the mix.
We have a lot of drivers who look like they've been disqualified from the formation lap. Going through Capone, Methods, Henchman, Rhodes, BRL Blue Flag, Formula Rager have all been disqualified from the formation lap. Not a huge deal because you don't have to get the heat and the tires or the brakes, but definitely not ideal. You want to get some feel for the track. Looking on board now, I mean, the track is just soaking wet, puddles everywhere. This is going to be brutal for these drivers.
And I tell you what, it could cause a possible safety car as well, or a virtual safety car. I don't think we had a single, safety. I think we only had one safety car all of last season, 1 or 2, and that was it. So if we wanted to get a safety car, that could throw strategy completely, because I believe it's supposed to be heavy rain the entire race, correct?
I believe so. It's tough to say, though.
I mean, because we could wind up having a few people, depending on tire management, try to go all the way on the wets. Or we could have strategically some people, if we get a caution lap 10 or 11 or something like that, somewhere close to the midway point, divide the race in half and chuck on a new set of wets.
Exactly.
It could change the dynamic of the race. And track position is huge.
It is interesting, though, because, from our split 1 race, which we had on Friday, for me, I struggled a lot with the tires. You don't really have to worry about that as much with the rain. However, you have a lot of other things you have to worry about in these conditions. But it does take away some of that, trying to pick out your soft tires or your mediums or your hards. So it does take away from that. But then this start, which we are getting lined up for here now, is going to be very interesting, to say the least. We've got SyncScar approaching the front of the grid. All of our disqualified drivers on the formation lap just chilling there, sitting. Tires do
The
ice
mid-
cold.
The mid-pack and back of the pack drivers lining up on the grid.
We are good to
Slingshot, the
go.
final driver to line up. We're waiting for the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red lights for Australia. Split 2. Season opener. It's lights out and away we go. Slingshot gets a pretty good start. Mr. Beat Baby trying to come up the inside. Will he
Mr. Beat Baby's up the inside.
Yes, he is. Beat Baby's got it into turn 1.
Look at Clark. He is struggling through the turn. Everyone's pushing so hard. SF1 Rhodes has made up places. Pogs has made up places. BRL Blue Flag is up into 4th place with Bloody Ramrod right behind him. On the brakes, Blue Flag goes for Blue Flag knocks off Rager from the track. Blue Flag completely locked the brakes and took Formula Rager with him.
Empty is off. The Renault's off. 4 or 5 people off.
Oh,
they're still sliding.
SF1 Rhodes is off. Rhodes is out.
Oh my God! Oh, McLaren's off. It's nothing.
Oh, you can't even see anything on board with these drivers. All the while, Mr. Beat Baby's come out on top. He is leading the race. Oh, Ferrari's into the wall. Ferrari's lost on the wing. Blue Flag, who knocked off Formula Rager, has lost the left side of his wing. Blue Flag having a rough go over here in this weather. Already lost one McLaren.
Ramrod and Lightning are going to war, but Rage has been knocked down to P6 after first lap. Nug Life has gone up from P15 to P6 in the Williams.
Rage has lost another position. Blue Flag behind him.
Been pushed down.
And that was lap 1. Beat Baby is cleared a 2.5 seconds ahead of Sinkscar. So he's looking really, really good out in that Red Bull. Bloody Ramrod up into P3 with Like Me or Not, as you said, right there on his tail.
Drivers coming to pits, it appears. Henchman's coming to the pits for a wing change. Anybody else?
I'm surprised we didn't see. Oh, McLaren's off. What was that? Sorry, that was lag. I definitely thought I saw McLaren just going completely sideways across the track. Let's see, Mullet Man also in the pits. I'm surprised we didn't see BRL Blue Flag dip in. He has lost the front half of his, or not the front half, but the front end plate on the left is completely gone. I guess the rain gives you a little bit of leeway there. Oh, the McLaren BRL Methods goes a little bit wide. Moves it down in position to Capone.
2 drivers dipped in the pits. I'm sure a few more have damage. And we have a statement from SF1 Rhodes. He got pushed into a slide, waited for the cars to pass, and he got hit by the Red Bull. Wow.
Super unfortunate for him. Yellow sector 2, what's going on there? Oh, Nick Facinas is spun. Nick Facinas is stopped on track. Don't know what happened there.
He's lost his wing.
Oh, super unfortunate for him. He had a pretty good start to his race. He's going to struggle without that downforce. Pogs, this is a place to Capone as well.
Oh, he's in the grass, man.
Oh,
and just looking
Red
at
Bull
the biggest,
Alexia.
just looking at the biggest gainers and losers, Nug Life has gained 7 spots, and he's up in the P6. Capone has gained 5 spots in the P10. Slingshot has gained 5 spots in the P12, and obviously some of the biggest losers. SF1 Rhodes obviously out of the race. Beat Baby sets the fastest lap. Rage and Blue Flag.
Here. Look at this. Nug Life, Rager and BRL Blue Flag are too wide at the moment. These guys are all flying down the straight. The Rager had a really rough start, starting P3, now down into P8. Ferrari's on the inside, gets early on the brakes, got the inside line. BRL Blue Flag has to back off, gets a little bit of a better exit, gets cut off there by Formula Rager. Still behind Nug Life, he's right on the gearbox with that Rich Energy Haas. Oh, but Formula Rager's gonna hold the line. BRL Blue Flag late on the brakes, cuts him off.
Oh, they make contact.
Contact there between the drivers.
And now Etsy is in here.
In my opinion that looked like the fault of Blue Flag. Formula Ranger had the inside line there, and Blue Flag gave no space and just turned in and made contact. As Nug Life has gone off, gone a little bit wide, he's recovered onto the track, but he's going to lose the position to Blue Flag and Formula Ranger.
He's going to lose 3 spots. Oh no, Eggsy and him are going to battle here.
Oh, Eggsy has to duck off to avoid the wing!
Oh,
man. Not sure he lost any of his wing there. This is crazy stuff.
And
Like
I'll
it
tell
or
you
not,
what,
still all over the Renault.
I think Blue Flag and Rage are having a little bit of a gentleman's disagreement out there. It doesn't take a genius to find out when two racing drivers are hot with each other, and I think we're seeing that today.
That's what it looks like, and I think I saw that on the opening lap. Blue Flag was the one who kind of took him off the track, got really late on the brakes, which you just can't do here in the rain.
Oh, a battle
and,
for the final points position. Pogs and Capone going at it. That's the Haas and the Williams.
Looking
Can
around
barely
here.
see a thing. Oh, Pogs spun it! Pogs has spun it. He was in the final points position.
Oh, he's about to lose out to Methods. He gets on the outside of the track. Methods is going to get past him. Oh, not quite yet. Back on board here with Rager, still behind Blue Flag. Only lap 4 of 29.
Oh, they went side by side. Pogs held it around the high side.
Nug Life has got past Exia. These two are all over each other. Oh, contact.
Contact.
Looks like a racing incident there. Exia bumps into Nug Life in the rain. Everything is so exaggerated. Formula Rager still all over Blue Flag there. A little sideways from the Haas. Like me or not, still sticking to the gearbox of that Renault. This weather really proving difficult for these drivers. Oh, a little sideways. Going on board, like me or not. He's getting impatient. He's right there. He just can't get past. Mr. See here, like me or not, coming up close behind Ramrod.
Oh, I thought he was going to do the switch back there.
Rager looks to be biding his time on Blue Flag. Like me or not, just looking for any time he can. Mr. Beat Baby sets the fastest lap, 139.7. Like me or not, going to hope to get a good exit out of here. The telemetry showing the ERS isn't overtake. He's desperately trying to get past the Renault onto the podium.
I think he's going to wait.
You can't see anything.
Oh, bloody Ramrod! Oh!
Ramrod's hard on the gas. He's going to lose out of position of Mitch as well almost here. He's going to cut off the outside. Mitch has to get on the brakes. The Raiders lost a little bit of time to Blue Flag. My goodness. A little bit of a split between those other guys. Beat Baby did about 2.5 seconds ahead of 6 car. Looking pretty consistent on that. Like me or not, now it's chasing down 6 car. Looks like the rain is lightening up just a little. Looks like a little bit wide.
And all the while, this is all happening some 15 odd seconds behind the leader, Beat Baby.
Yeah, this is absolutely insane. It does look to me like the rain's maybe lightening up just a little bit. There's definitely a dry spot, patch, a line showing up on the track. And we've got, oh my goodness, look at this. P4 through P6 are so close. These guys are all right on one another.
P7.
Oh my goodness, almost 2 wide. Oh, Ranger goes to the back of him. Oh, Ranger got so late on the brakes there, you can see it coming. Oh, he's lost his front. Oh, Ranger loses his front right end plate. A yellow sector 1 as well. What's going on there? Methods looking to be struggling in sector 1. Debris out on track. My goodness. Ranger stays out, avoids the pits.
Blue Flag's gonna have a shot at Mitch.
Gets the brakes early.
Oh, Mitch right in the back of
my
Ramrod.
goodness. It's so hard to even see through here. Oh, Mitch is gonna send it. Oh no! Little contact there between him and the Renault. Mitch falls on. Oh, what just happened?
Mitch got loose, Blue Flag was trying to take the spot from him, and there was more contact.
Oh my goodness, Exio over the back of Formula Ranger. Lots of space between the two drivers. Oh. This is absolutely insane.
I can barely believe this is such incredible action.
Now it's so hard, There's been a lot of contact in this race. It's kind of the nature of rain racing. But you got to be careful. You got to be mindful of this. You know, it's just something to take into account. Formula Rager, a little bit behind Exia, blue flag, trying to catch up on the back of that Renault. Singscar's not letting Beef Baby out of his sight. Still only about 2.5 seconds ahead.
Blue flag's starting to catch up on Ramrod also. Singscar has kept it between 2 and 2.5 seconds, and that's pretty good. But P4 to P8, my word. Nuglife's going around the high side of Mitch. You don't see that move anywhere around.
As Mitch is dipping into the pits.
I have never in my life been able to see someone hold it around the high side. And that corner in the left, as blue flag is all over the back of Ramrod.
I think he's going to go for it here. He's been a little more hesitant into that turn after the first lap incident. Still right there on him. Exia about a second back from the Rager, a second back from them. But the battle here is blue flag and bloody Ramrod of the Renault. Rain is so heavy. Thought it was lightening up. It is most definitely not. It's still absolutely brutal out here in Melbourne.
At the point it is right now, might as well call it the tornado sirens, and tornado could touch down any moment, it looks like. Oh, he's going to go up the inside! Oh, we had to cut the corner.
That's all four wheels off track. It's not going to work for him there.
But I think he was doing it so he didn't run into the back of him. I feel like the blue flag is one of those races he'd rather take a corner cutting penalty than intentionally wreck someone. And so we've got a yellow sector 2. Who is it for? Oh, it's Biro Methods is off the track. In sector 3.
Yellow sector 3. Methods is struggling. The McLaren's really having a rough go of it this weekend. He loses part of his wing. Looking tough for them. Mullet Man, P16, his teammate in P1. So really wide split for the Red Bulls. Bureau blue flag has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Yellow sector 1. That's Methods has spun it at the chicane. He's struggling, going to join back on track. Making sure he's not going to impede anybody coming through. Let's see here, Exia is all over blue flag, who's all over bloody Ramrod.
Blue flag getting another good run, saving up that ERS for a charge. Can he dive it? No, he will not. Exia won't dive it.
Another yellow sector 1. Methods is off again.
The rain is just not suiting Methods today, unfortunately.
It's looking that way. Let's see here. Pogs eyeing down Slingshot. Only about 8/10 behind him. Dear Honor, we still have 21 laps of racing to go.
Oh my gosh.
Methods has retired from the session. It's a nightmare of a weekend.
That was a Red Bull.
Nightmare of a weekend here in Australia for McLaren.
The Mullet Man was the Red Bull that was off right in front of our leaders. He's trying to get it righted, but I just noticed out of the corner of my eye, I wasn't trying to interrupt. I just saw out of the corner of my eye in front of these leaders. My oh my, we've got blue flag, Ramrod, Etsy, and Rage now all battling for P4.
Nuglife just got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Oh, Etsy was a little bit wide from where the Rangers going to take advantage. He's all over the Toro Rosso now. All the while, Singscar is not giving Mr. Beef Baby an inch. He's had this lead this whole race, but the Ferrari is unrelenting here. He can't get complacent. We've still got so much racing left. Like me or not, it's about 14 seconds back. He's about 10 seconds clear of blue flag. Behind them, it's anybody's game.
I think Methods, he has retired. He's called it quits. I do believe it's because of the manual suggested. We will turn that on to automatic next race. It was just because of technical difficulties. We had to leave it on manual suggested for this race, and I believe that's definitely putting the hamper to some of them.
5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lanes. Let's see what else we got here. Pogs still all over Slingshot. The Haas on the Mercedes.
That's for the final point, and Slingshot is He's come from last on the grid here up there to P10. Not too shabby as Etsy and Ramrod. Etsy got around Ramrod, but
yeah, Ramrod looks like he made a mistake. He was on the outside of the track.
But not too shabby for Slingshot. Gained 7 spots. You know, not a bad first part of this race. And SingStar has moved the interval down to 1.5 seconds. He's slowly been cutting down that lead of Beat Baby. I wonder if Beat Baby was trying to conserve a little bit, or if SingStar is trying to up the wick a little bit.
It looks like SingStar is trying to up the wick a little bit here. He's Beat Baby's currently running in a or actually no, I've got that flipped. Beat Baby's running in high. SingStar's only running in medium. His fuel is a little bit lighter than that of the Red Bull. His icon is on. So 19 laps of racing here to go. Conditions still absolutely nasty. Formula Rager.
We got Rage. And as I say that, we are now at 30 people viewing live. Absolutely bonkers right now. We have that many people watching as the Renault and the Haas go to battle. Very reminiscent of the 2018 season, Adam. We saw Renault and Haas go to war in the actual F1 season. I wonder if we'll see the same for this season in BRL. You've got McFaceTaste and Ramrod in the Renault, and then you've got Rage and Pogs in the Haas. Pretty equal drivers, so we might be able to see some interesting battles in the midfield for constructors.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's awesome to see, 30 live people watching. That's huge for how, new BRL is, and it's really exciting to see how fast it's growing. But when you have racing like this, how could you not? This is absolute insanity. This race has been crazy, and we're not even halfway done. Absolutely,
and we do have to say a thanks to our affiliates, the Rogue Energy, Into the AM. We've got a couple of
Gamer Grind Coffee Co.
Gamer Grind Co. Absolutely. Without them, we wouldn't be able to provide this content right as we hit 31. Vertigear as well. Into the AM, Gamer Grind Co. Vertigear, the Rogue Energy. Without them, our affiliates, we wouldn't be able to provide this coverage. So it's an absolute thanks to them, as now we hit 31 people. Wow.
And it's a big shout out to our Split One guys, our admins, between Maverick, Skeppy, all these guys who put so much work into BRL, and for only our second full season and just starting it, between Friday and today, it's just awesome, and it's really exciting to see it grow. And I think this season's going to be even better than the first. I think we're going to have more good racing, more exciting races, and it's just going to be great, and I can't wait. As we say that, we got a yellow sector 3.
It was for
what's going on there.
He went a little wide and got past him at face. Oh, Pond.
Oh, Nug Life drifting around the course.
Oh, Rage gained back up on Ramrod. He's going to get close to the
our
Renault.
field's kind of spacing out a little bit here, but Rager and SingStar not relenting off the drivers in front of them. As Ricardo gets a little close there. As Ricardo said in Australia, I don't want to let him breathe. That's what these guys are doing as well. As we say that too, Pogs. Oh, Pogs so close to Slingshot, makes a mistake. It's on the curb there in the grass, trying to get on the accelerator. Yeah, he just went from about 4/10 behind it, or almost 3 seconds now.
Rage, I thought he was going to go up the inside there as Ramrod went very slow through sector 3. Pogs lost about 2.5 seconds there. That is for the final point-paying position. Don't forget also, fastest lap will come into play here also as Blue Flag gets a 3-second time penalty.
Yes, it will. Oh, Rager getting easy on the brakes there.
Oh, he went very deep.
Ramrod's going wide. Ramrod almost loses it.
They're side by side.
He's going to have a better exit in the half. Oh, it's going to be interesting on the brakes here. The Renault's on the inside. Rager a little bit braver on the brakes. He's going to make the move stick. Rager is past. All the while, Rager still doesn't have a front right end plate. So that's not going to make his life any easier. But he is up into P6. Pogs has gotten past Nug Life. Pogs up into P10. As Nug Life is going into
the pit.
exit the pits.
The undercut. I think he had a little. I don't even think he had wing damage. I think he's just trying to do the undercut and try to get on a fresher set of wets before everybody else, because I believe everybody's going to pit once.
Yeah, Facetus going into the pits as well now. Still so much racing left here. Sinksar still only 2.5 seconds down. Blue flag has cleared a little bit of time from Exia, who's cleared some time from Rager. So our field's spreading out a little bit here as Mr. Beat Baby sets the fastest lap of the 139.1. So he's finding some pace on these old tires.
And I tell you what's going to be interesting. The guys like Nug Life, like Mitch, who have pitted early, it's going to be interesting to see where they come out, or how they sort into the rest of the field who hasn't pitted yet. I have a feeling
what's
that
also
guys
interesting
like Blue...
here... Sorry, keep going. Apologies.
Well, I just have a feeling that guys like Blue Flag and Like Me Not, Ezia, guys who have a little bit of damage are going to carry those tires as far as they can. That way, when they come off of those tires, they can change the knee and just do a sprint to the finish. And Bloody Ramrod in the pit. And as I say that, we're now 35 people watching. I'm sorry I keep bringing it up, but that is just absolutely incredible.
Super exciting to see. I was going to say it's really interesting too, because Beat Baby and Sinkscar have now passed Mullet Man, who's down in P15. He's been lapped. Did a good job getting out of the way there. Could be pretty tricky even in dry conditions. So he's done a good job. Like Me or Not is up 4 places into P3 right now, so he's having a great race. Exit is up 3, Capone is up 8, and Slingshot is up 9. So these guys, a couple of drivers having a really, really, really great race so far. Still about 16 laps left.
Ramrod got held up in the pits, and not only did he have wing damage, he had a time penalty that he had to serve.
Ooh,
so he's been demoted down to P12. That cost him at least, I'd say, 10 seconds.
Going through here, let's see. Pogs now looking down Slingshot again for P8. About 8/10 behind. Made a mistake right up here on the 6th.
Oh, he got
wide. These tires might be starting to go. Slingshot goes wide as well. Slingshot's in the grass. Oh, he can't get any traction. It's so wet. Pogs is going to get past. Oh, it's so difficult to get traction in the grass, let alone in the pouring rain.
Man. And that's just the point for Slingshot. I talked to him before the season started, and he said he's known as one of the most conservative guys in the field. He felt like this season he could fight in the midfield.
Let's go.
Raven spun it. He's not going though. Mitch is going to pass him. Oh, that was close. Ramrod, will he pass Nug Life?
I think he's a little too far back for that.
Yep.
Looking forward, Rangers in the pits.
He didn't change his wing also. Rage did not
I think he's feeling
wing.
okay with that, but now he's going to be battling for position with his teammate. Rage is going to exit the pits. Pogs is going to exit. He's going to get the position on him. Slingshot. Oh, it's going to be interesting here. He's going to have it on Slingshot, but now we've got the Haas running 7th and 8th. Really close here. Yeah, new tires, no new wing for Rager. Slingshot's now eyeing him down. Looking back. Oh, Nug Life
getting really close to Nug Life.
You guys are pushing so hard in these conditions. That's extremely difficult. Sinkscar has made the decision to go into the pits. So Beef Baby has to capitalize on this, run as fast as he possibly can, get that gap just as large as possible, try to maintain this lead. Like Me or Not, currently P3, coming around these final 2 corners at the end of Sector 3. Sinkscar is out of the pits, I do believe. Oh, well, Like Me or Not's stepping into the pits as well. So Sinkscar is going to come out P2. Blue Flag is going to gain a position on Like Me or Not.
They should come out pretty easily in front of each other, but now we've got a Ramrod still trying to work
is going to get past
Life.
his teammate in the pits as well. Should be clear of P6. Like Me or Not, exiting the pits, or exiting his pit box, P5.
And Rage is absolutely hounding Pogs, but I am so shocked to see that Rage did not change his wing. I figured for sure he would change it under that stop. He just must feel like that it's not hurting him too much, as he is
Pogs is
diving
going
into
in
the
here.
pit.
I think it's interesting because you get a nice balance of the downforce, but you're also not trying to go as absolutely fast as possible. So you can kind of manage a wing here. It's a little easier, I think, in my opinion, in the rain than it is in the dry. Rager's up into P7. Pone ahead of him. Pogs in the pits. Slingshots in the pits. Let's see here. Sinkscar is now 25. Oh, Mr. Beat Baby is going into the pits. So we're going to see what happens here. He slows down. Sinkscar is 25 seconds behind. So we're going to see here who comes out in front. If the undercut works for Sinkscar, he's still got a couple more corners left in Sector 3. I think Mr. Beat Baby is going to have him pretty comfortably.
Yep, Sinkscar is just now coming out of the final corner. Beat Baby about to exit the pits. Now he is. Where's Sinkscar? He's still a few seconds behind the start-finish line. Oh, and Beat Baby's going to have the Renault. No, the Renault! Oh, the Renault!
Mick Facetus.
Half off Beat Baby's wing, and that's going to allow Sinkscar to gain some time. He's now within a second and a half of the leader.
Yeah, Mick Facetus definitely hosed Beat Baby there. I don't think Beat Baby has any damage. Thankfully, I think he's still good to go, but that definitely cost him time.
I understand the Renault was trying to make sure he stayed on the lead lap, but that was pretty hairy. I figured Beat Baby would do everything he could to make sure he had a car in front of himself, and now he is. He's passing him. McFaceface got blue flags. Certainly he had to.
Rager puts in the fastest lap. So now, Sinkscar has to get past the Renault. Nick Facetus. Eggsy is still running P3. Good weekend so far for Toro Rosso. P3, P4 currently. Blue flag P5. Pone P6 and Rager P7.
It's a really good run for Eggsy. I remember he partnered Mitch for Ferrari for the second half of the season. He put in a lot of work, I think, over the off-season. I think it's showing now. P3, P4 for both the Toro Rosso drivers.
Yeah, it's absolutely showing. Really impressive first showing for Like Me or Not. He's improved 3 spots, and this is my very first time seeing him, so he's looking really, really good. Toro Rosso might be a team to contend with.
First time for Like Me not running a league race, I think, in a year and a half, so he is definitely putting in a strong performance. And just looking at the constructors right now, I've got the feeling it's going to be a Ferrari versus Toro Rosso battle. As we've got Ferrari in P2 and P5, and then we have a Toro Rosso P3 and P4. I think those are going to be the guys fighting for the Constructors' Championship.
It's going to be a battle of the Scuderias, and that sounds pretty damn exciting to me.
As we're on board with Ramrod now in P10, trying to sniff a couple points from Nuglife. Nuglife in P9, not a bad result for him. I think he was just hoping for a few points into this race. Like I talked to him as well before the season started. He's another one of those drivers who came in late last season, put in a lot of work before the season started. Rage sets the fastest lap. But as I was saying, Nuglife, another one of those drivers putting in a lot of time over the off season, and it's showing as he's set to gain a couple points right now. And looking at the stops, Capone and Etzia are the two drivers yet to have hit.
We've got 12 laps left. They seem to be managing it pretty well. Could these guys be going for the no-stop strategy?
Well, they're already 17 laps in. Just looking at Etzia right now, if he were to come into the pit, he would wind up P6. Probably, and if Capone were to come into the pit, he'd probably be back around 11th or 12th. So it depends on the tire management. As Sinkscar sets the fastest lap right behind Beat Baby, the gap's closing.
Oh man, he's catching him. He's 1 second, and it's it kind of goes back to Beat Baby got really, really held up there by the Renault. If this race turns out, well, I mean, we're gonna have to see how this race turns out, but that's gonna be a major point of contention here.
But don't forget, Sinkscar also has lower fuel.
Oh, Eggsy is going into the pits.
He just answered your question of whether or not he's going to do if he's going to pit. Let's see where he'll come out on track. As Capone's heading into the pit now, we'll see where they'll both return. It's going to be close between Eggsy and Rage.
Oh, it's going to be interesting here. Eggsy is on the power. Rage is going to have
get him. And where's Capone going to come out? He's just now heading into his pit stall. Even though he hasn't stopped yet, he got up there to P6. That's not a bad run for the Capone racer.
So looking through P1 through P6, the oldest tires are 4 laps old. So only Henchman's tires are 16 laps old. So now that Capone's gone into the pits, everyone has gone through. You know, Henchman pitted early to replace that front wing after the chaos at the beginning of this race. So we should be good to go towards the end. We got 11 laps left. Six Car is not giving Mr. Beef Baby any room to even think about taking a breath. Like me or not's running P3. Blue Flag's about 3 seconds behind him. He's got some space to Rager, but Exia is coming up to Rager now.
I just have a feeling that Henchman's still going to have to pit again. I just do not feel like he can take those wets 27 laps. If the guys, you know, Capone and Ezia went 18 laps, and that was it, I just don't think Henchman can do 27 as we've had a random guy join the lobby for some reason. All right, he's left. But
through here.
Nug Life about lost it. About gave me a heart attack as he went over those curves. One of the toughest part of the tracks, especially tougher in the rain. Getting on those left side curves out of the end of that chicane, it can loop you in a hurry.
Let's see, Singscar is 1 second behind Beef Baby.
Oh,
Rain's coming down hard here.
3/4 of a second pretty much. You know, down within 6 or so car lengths, 5 car lengths. Not far off of. As Rage has been passed by Exia, and Henchman has gotten around Ramrod. Good tussle for P9 here. Oh, Henchman got real loose.
It's funny, almost every single time we switch cameras, everybody seems to be correcting oversteer. So this track is just absolutely brutal out here. Singscar's lost just a little bit of time to Beef Baby. They are now also approaching a, who is that? It looks like some back marker. Can't tell quite yet.
No.
It's Slingshot, P13.
Yep, it is Slingshot. Tried to move down the camera to see how it is. Slingshot, he'll easily let him by. He's a good, respectable racer, been running in the league for a long time, and I'm sure he's just going to let him by easily and worry about his own race. If we got a yellow flag.
Oh, that's Pogs. Pogs is spun at the half, spun at the chicane. Oh, it looks like
that's right in front of the leaders.
Wing. Oh, his front wing is gone. He has no front wing, looking like Romain Grosjean out the pits.
Wow. And that's right in front of our leaders and Slingshot, so that'll give Slingshot, I believe it'll give him one more spot.
Let's see here. BRO Blue Flag is making a push for the podium here. He is only a second or 1.6 seconds behind Like Me or Not. That was 3 seconds not long ago. He's got 9 left to catch the Toro Rosso. And if this does turn out to be the Ferraris versus Toro Rosso, this could be a very interesting battle.
Absolutely, and you know, looking at drivers up there at the top, it seems like Rage, Ezia, Rage, Ezia, Blue Flag, all these guys have been so close. Now you got Blue Flag, who has sort of gotten away from that group of drivers and is going for the podium. He knocks it down another 4 tenths or so. It is so tough to attack in these conditions. I know Blue Flag is absolutely on the ragged edge, but he's got to stay patient here. He's got 8 laps to go. Just run your race.
Singscar is 7 tenths behind Beef Baby. This is looking like Leclerc Verstappen here. These two are all over one another, and they've been so consistent, both of them, which is incredibly impressive.
And I tell you what, these guys, I know they're going to absolutely battle tooth and nail, but they can't take each other out here. You got, oh, it gets really
he's
close.
right there.
This is a battle for the lead. It's a battle for the win, ladies and gentlemen. And Beer Rail Split 2. Heavy rain at Australia. You've got Beef Baby and SingStar going at it as Pinchman has dived into the pits, and he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding. That's going to hurt his chances at points.
On board here with SingStar. This is just absolutely insane. It doesn't get any better than this. And from the season opener, that's just unreal.
And I tell you what, after all the action we've had in today's race, coming at 8 to go, I'm not sure how much I can take before you're going to have to throw me out of the booth. This racing is so incredible.
Looking close, blue flags about 1.3 seconds behind behind Like Me or Not. Looking like a little bit of sun's peeking through here in Melbourne. Mr. Beef Baby's not going to be all smiles though.
We've got Rage and Etsy about to go to battle. Blue Flag and Like Me or Not about to go to battle. And we've got SingStar and Beef Baby battling out here. So
Nug Life has spun it. Nug Life spun it.
Oh, Nug Life. That lost
He's
him
down to
position.
P9.
Oh, and then he just hit the wall.
Capone's coming for him.
Both the Williams drivers in the points. About to go to battle. Nug Life went wide. Capone will go around him.
Oh, SingStar taps the wall just a little bit in the chase. Looks like his wing's okay. Yellow sector 1. That's going to be Pogs. Pogs has had a mistake.
Oh, SingStar and Beef Baby are fighting it out heading through sector 2.
It looks like SingStar's got a little more confidence going into that chicane. Beef Baby's a little earlier on the brakes. But then here's the thing. This track is incredibly difficult to pass on. And it's pouring rain. And we have no ERS, or no DRS, I apologize. We're looking at the telemetry. Mr. Beef Baby is in hot lap, and SingStar is in medium. So you can clearly tell the mindset of Mr. Beef Baby here. He does not want to let him pass.
Absolutely.
And he's pulling away. He's pulling away from him here.
Oh, Etsy went wide. Rage is going to be all over him heading down the back straightaway. Rage out of back.
Pogs
out. Retired. Will that be a safety car?
I don't know if that was an incident, if he just called it quits. Let's see here. My goodness, a mile of incident reports. It is terminal damage for Pogs. The Haas has ended his race with a crash here. Super unfortunate. That is 3 drivers victim to the wet roads of Australia here. On board, BRO Blue Flag is half a second behind Like Me or Not, with 6 laps left. This is unbelievable. A battle for P1, a battle for P3. This is just insane.
Battle for P5, a battle for P9. We'd love to bring you all the coverage. We unfortunately can't do that. We got one person in myself and now I'm trying to switch back between the battles. We can only show once at a time. As SingStar once again gets another great X out of that chicane. The gap is just 4 tenths heading into sector 3.
Oh, but my goodness, Blue Flag is 3 tenths behind Like Me or Not, and he's coming up to the same part of the track. Going to see if the Ferrari has the same confidence as his teammate. Looking up the inside, not going to send it. Good driving there from both these guys, keeping it clean. This rain is just brutal.
Rage all over the back of Etsy, and Nug Life all over the back of Capone. The 2 Williams drivers doing very well in the points. Didn't expect to say that before the race started.
Williams
once again,
2 Williams
all
in the points, and 2 Mercedes out of the points. This is an alternate timeline here, folks.
Go ahead and start up all the memes. We know it.
Let's see here. Formula Ranger 8 tenths behind. Blue Flag 6 tenths and SingStar 5 tenths. Lap 24 of 29. Oh, little loose from SingStar. Good job recovering. And I'm noticing that SingStar is pushing a little more than Beef Baby. Beef Baby's a little earlier on the brakes, but he can be because he's in front.
Well, I wonder if SingStar is going a little bit deeper in the corners because maybe he's coasting more. I'm trying to look at the gas and the brake pedal right now because remember, SingStar is lower on fuel than Beef Baby. He's been running yellow
well, look at
on
this
fuel
too,
the
though.
entire race.
SingScar's at 20% ERS, and Beef Baby's at 50. Formula Ranger gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's trying to get past Exia as best as he can. They are well clear of P7.
That's going to play a factor as well as people's time penalties, because literally you can have, just a couple more seconds time penalties than, the guys behind you, and it can move you from a possible podium or a possible points position out of that. And that's big when we get towards the end of the championship.
Well, looking here, let's go on board. Mr. Beef Baby, SingScar, 5/10 separate them. Mr. Beef Baby's done a better job with the ERS management. SingScar is pushing it almost to 0. Moving across the track, trying to cut the toe. Oh, goodness me, Mr. Beef Baby. SingScar battling it out here for P1.
Oh, another wife and Capone are going side by side in Sector 1. I think this is right in front of our leaders.
I think you are correct. They are approaching these guys here, and that's going to be interesting because these guys are fighting for track position. And these two other, the Ferrari and the Red Bull, are fighting for the win.
Oh, Ray just ran into the back of Lexia. I don't think he got wing damage. It was just a little love tap.
Doesn't look like he does. Going on board here, we can see both the Williams in view. They're losing time because they're fighting each other, but they have to be aware that the leaders of this race are coming up behind them quick.
And that's one of the toughest positions to be in, is if you're fighting, whether it's your teammate or not, if you're just fighting in general and it's 4 points and you've got the leaders right behind you, it's such a tough spot to be in because you don't want to lose
wide
time.
for SingScar. Loses time. He was about 3/10 behind him. He's now down to 7/10.
Oh, that's going to cost him. He's down now to 9/10. He gained a little bit back into that corner, but still, all the time he's been working for the past 3 or 4 laps erased. Oh, as the
Mr.
Williams
Beef Baby
drivers,
here.
you can see him right in front of the leaders. Are they going to move out of the way easily? Are they going to continue fighting? This is winning implications right here for the win of the race.
Looking here, Capone's on Thug Life. These guys are fighting. BR Blue Flag just got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's really going to hurt him against Like Me or Not. Not sure if he's got any time penalties. Rager's still about 9/10 behind Exia. Looking on board here, Capone and Thug Life really battling it out. The leaders right behind him. SingScar's about a second behind. Definitely lost some time there throughout that last lap. And here comes Beef Baby on the Williams. We're going to have to see what happens here.
Well, even if he doesn't get held up, it's just the psychological game. You're going to, viewpoints up the track where, as Capone's going to do the good job.
Oh, Capone's getting out of the way.
But SingScar just really, just Beef Baby noticing Capone get out of the way and seeing that little bit cost him 6/10.
Yeah.
The gap was 1.1, now it's down to 6/10. Just by having drivers in your way. And they did a great job, an absolute great job of getting out of the way of the leaders. But it's still just that mind game as it's down to 3/10 again.
Oh, he's got a great exit out of the corner. Mr. Beef Baby comes to the inside line. Oh, he's not going to have it. Beef Baby's going to cut him off. He's got access right to that corner. Not a save ERS if I'm the Red Bull in the front.
As we're coming now down to 3 laps to go. Beef Baby knows he's got SingScar all over him. This is a battle for the win.
If you're SingScar here, though, you can't get greedy. You can't push too hard. Both only running medium ERS. He's got the toe, though. He's going to look up the inside. Beef Baby's going to hold the line, hold it steady. Clean. There's the first chicane.
I think that was just saying, hello, I'm here. I'm ready to pounce. And that's just psychological, too. Half of the battle is physical, battle.
Oh, my goodness. SingScar gets super close to the back of Beef Baby. That's going to cost him so much time. He was 3/10 behind. He's now a second or 9/10 behind now. Definitely cost him a little bit of time.
And as I was saying, it's a psychological game too. Messing with your opponents and trying to fake them out and trying to make things or trying to make them think of things that aren't happening. And that's what he was trying there, and he just dove in too deep, and it cost him. But he's going to get a great run through the chicane, I'm sure of it, because that's where he's been beating them the whole race.
Let's see here, 7/10 separate him right at this second. Good exit from the Ferrari. He's gaining time on the straight. Gaining even more time, so smooth through there. He's going to have a fantastic run.
The only place I can see SingStar passing him is down into this corner, out of the chicane, because that's the only spot I think SingStar is significantly enough better to be able to make a move.
Looking through, this is definitely our closest battle in the field. It's also just happens to be for the lead. So close between these two drivers. Mirroring F1 the actual season, the Red Bull and the Ferrari fighting tooth and nail at the moment.
And just a note on the battle for third, Lightning has gained that up to about 2 seconds on blue flag, and the battle for fifth, Ezia has increased that out to about 1.5 seconds over Rage. The battle is for the win. 2 to go.
On to the penultimate lap here. B-Baby's got to hold him off just for a little bit longer if he wants to keep this race win. Oh, good there through the front Ferrari.
SingStar has to be able to get through split one. I think that's where he's been struggling the most, is sector one. He's just got to be able to stay within arm's reach, so when he gets to that chicane, he can take a crack at him. Oh, he got a great run through there. He drove it in there and it stopped. He lost a little bit of time on exit, but that could be a possible move too on the next lap. He hasn't tried that the whole race. Yes, absolutely. He hasn't done that the whole race. He drove it in there. It stopped, but just momentarily. It's just he's running out of options, and he knows it.
So he got a 3-second time penalty. Oh my goodness.
You have a penalty as well.
I'm not sure what the penalty situation is. Keep your eye on that. I'm going to go through and see if I can find out how many they have. So Beef Baby.
Because if he has another 3-second time penalty, it's a straight up dogfight. But if it's not, then SingStar, he's going to have to make a move and try to gain 3 seconds.
Oh, I don't think Beef Baby has a single penalty.
So all Beef Baby has to do is stay clean this final lap and make sure SingStar doesn't do anything reckless, like wreck him off the track.
That's what it's looking like. We're on the last lap here. 3/10 behind. You've got to feel good if you're Mr. Beef Baby. You can't get too reckless here if you're SingStar. Oh, it's really close to the back of the Red Bull there. Low on fuel. Both these guys low on fuel. Mr. Beef Baby 0 on the ERS, trying to save some desperately here in a last-minute charge. Quite literally.
No SingStar is going to throw it into these corners this final lap, trying to make anything happen. He throws it into this corner again and gains some time. Gap is now 4 car lengths. He's going to try to get a good run out of this final corner because he knows if he can just nail the chicane, he might have a crack at him. The gap is 6/10. Will he be able to make anything happen heading through the chicane? It's the final half lap of the BRL Split 2 season opener.
He's
on
really
the
good
gearbox. He's right there.
Oh, it looks like he's going to have a good run. Both these guys in overtake mode on the ERS. SingStar's going to look up the inside. Beaver's going to come to the outside. Oh. He's going to back out of it. Not quite close enough, but he's all over the back of the Red Bull.
Right there.
Those Aston Martin wings. T.O. Tries to go up the inside to a door that's not there. I think BP is going to be able to hold him off. A last-ditch effort from the Ferrari driver. Final turn here. Unbelievable.
For his first win in BRL Split 2, going to battle for P3, like or not, he's got a 2-second margin over blue flag for P3. We got a battle for Etsy and Rangelo. This is for P5. The Perm will get P9, Nuglife P10, Henchman Nuglife P10, Henchman P11, all because they were a lap down. 2/10 separation that ship for P5.
Gets a little squirrely on that outside curve, loses some time.
His final.
Like me or not.
Etsy went wide. Racing's going to have a shot out of the corner, I think.
I know Ranger's not using traction control, and he just got on the throttle. Kind of tipped out the rear. Like me or not, it's going to get P3. BRL blue flag into P4. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here.
Blue flag got a ton of penalties, but Etsy looks like he's going to be able to hold on for P5. We've got Ramrod and Mitch going on for P7.
P5 for Exia, P6 for Formula Ranger. Ramrod, this race
all
isn't
over the
over
back.
yet.
Like I said, battle throughout the field. Once again, will Ramrod be able to make a move in the penultimate corner? Too far back, I think. And now it'll come down to penalties.
Looks like Mitch is going to hold him off. We'll see if the penalties will play a factor here. Mitch crosses the line, P7, Bloody Ramrod crosses the line, P8. Looks like it's going to stay that way. What a race here for BRL.
Oh my
Split
gosh.
2,
We didn't even,
Season 3.
that was so incredible. We didn't even get time to pick a driver of the day. Oh my gosh. We'll get these drivers in there. Only the top 3 for podium interviews here. Wow, I can finally take a breath. Adam, oh my gosh.
That was absolutely unreal. Hats off to Mr. Beef, baby. That was a fantastic win. Such a great drive in the rain, in tough conditions, and just excellent racing all the way through. It doesn't get better than that.
And I know he was so hungry for it. He was so close last season. And like a lot of people said, Beef Baby could be a sleeper. And he did it. He won in the rain at Australia.
Final classifications, Mr. Beef Baby gets the win at round 1 here. P1, 6 car, an unbelievable debut here. P2, like me or not, P3 the Toro Rosso. Really good stuff there. Blue flag, P4, Exia P5, Rager P6, Mitch P7, Ramrod 8, Capone 9, Nug Life 10th, BRL Henchman 11th. Absolutely fantastic stuff here.
Okay, I guess no podium interviews.
With no podium interviews, I gotta ask you, Deer Hunter, who is your driver of the day?
I've got to give it to Beef Baby. He was able to get out to an early lead at the beginning of the race, and then he was able to defend those final few laps. What was it, 7-8 laps?